This is my 1991 Ford Explorer, four-wheel drive, four-door, that I have listed for sale. I got this in mid-2013, and I stopped driving it mid-2018, primarily because the transmission pan gasket failed and started puking out all of its oil. That in and of itself isn't a big issue, but what combined with other items made me want to sell this. It's a good vehicle. It runs. Hasn't ran in over a year, but it does run. I've tried to maintain it as best I can in those years, and I've done a lot of things to it, and this video is going to quickly outline those things. So, a couple things starting in the front. I've deleted all the AC components. It has the just the plain heater box from a Bronco. It has an auxiliary water filter. It has new plugs, new wires, double platinum plugs. I've gone through and done the intake manifold gasket, the timing cover gasket, timing chain, serpentine belt, fan clutch, radiator hoses, not hosers, radiator hoses, vacuum lines, changed a lot of the fluids, power steering, meticulously flushed the brake system. It's got a newer power steering pump on it. New rocker arms, new push rods. I've changed the transfer case fluid, the front differential fluid, rear differential fluid. These tires were new in 2014. They do show some age, but still have quite a bit of tread. New shocks all the way around. They're pretty rusty now due to salt on the roads, but they are new KYB shocks. I got this vehicle with 226,000 miles on it. It now has 243. So I put about, maybe about 20,000 or so on there. The major body damage is this right here. I replaced the bumper and the headlight. This is the only major body damage. As far as rust, it's fairly clean. It's got some starting up here, but really nothing else going along the body. We got a little bit of crusty there. The frame is just getting some surface rust from sitting. I've gone through and done the brakes, front U-joints, spindle bearings, packed the wheel bearings in the front. The rear brakes have all been done, totally replaced with new master cylinders. Axle seals have been done. Rear differential fluid's been done twice in my ownership. Back glass is good, but it's the regular glass, not the defrost. This is more of the basic model, the XL, not the XLT. It does have an exhaust leak. The muffler is starting to rot out. There is a spare tire that is older, but it's not original, so it's been replaced. Let's take a look at the body here. One of the bad things about this vehicle is that it does have a water leak. Somewhere in here, it's not the windshield, because the windshield was replaced, but I believe it's in these riveted pieces in here, because right inside up there it leaks like crazy. Both corners. The interior is pretty well gone. These seats are from a newer Ranger. I have replaced those. If it were me, if I was doing something with this, I'd tear out all the carpet and bed line it. Definitely. Steering column I replaced. It's got a tilt column in there now. Aftermarket stereo. So the speakers are shot, so that's not that great. All the doors close nicely. Let's see, what else? Well, kind of think that's about it. One of the heads was replaced by the previous owner. Nothing too exciting there. I think that's about it on this one. I've gone through and done a lot of the wiring. I did replace the battery cables, but then they got crusty again. Probably just fine with new ends on it, but that's okay. Here's the wide shot of the driver's side. The paint isn't too bad. It's most bad on the hood here, where the clear coat's gone. But on the body, it's got a really nice shine to it. Roof rack is there with aftermarket lights. It's got the manual locking hubs on it. I've gone through and done several of the bushings, like the sway bar bushings, and I know the previous owner did the radius arm bushings, so those have been ground off and replaced with bolts. Little stuff like thermostat, heater hoses. I did replace all of the cold plugs, the frost plugs in the engine block. The transmission was apparently rebuilt by the previous owner, so it's probably got at least 30,000 miles on it. I have exchanged a lot of the fluid and put an aftermarket filter on it, as well as replace the internal filter. Should still have a lot of life left in it, but the seals need to be dealt with. So we'll just do another walk around here. The rear lights are good. The back end has not been hit at all. It does ride really nice. These tires and shocks are both meant more for a truck than a car, so it's very stiff and firm. Let's get a shot of underneath here. There's the spare tire. No leak on the differential. That is a big point. It does have a limited slip differential, but some of the clutches, the ears are broken off. It still works great, but its time is limited for sure. Let's take a look at the rust. It is starting to rust on the door here. Not very much. It's still just surface rust. It hasn't eaten, well, you can't really tell, but it hasn't eaten through yet. Take a look at the back here. This has some damage too. This is some minor body damage. Bit of a scrape there. Nothing bad. Yeah, that's about it.